we all speak about customer outcomes, and that's the first thing you mentioned, it's kind of the thing that you want to, in fact, measure. Bring that home with one example of what that customer outcome looked like.
There was a startup company that was trying to get acquired, and they had been trying to get acquired for probably 2.5 or 3 years. They were having challenges doing it because, as their chairman said, and I quote, our margins were pitiful. That was the challenge. They just couldn't get investors to buy in on the company until they could improve their margins. And so we really sat down and had a very deep conversation about understanding at a line item level what their COGS looked like. Through that process, we were able to uncover that their underlying technology architecture that was powering their customer facing analytics product had a lot of waste, and they had an army of people required to manage it. What we did was we said, all right, let's take all those specs and let's understand, project, okay, if we did this on Snowflake, what would that look like? There were some cost benefits of our technology versus the underlying platform that was there. And there was a massive reduction in administrative overhead that was needed. Literally, the single most important thing that this founder did, he would tell you, is change his back-end architecture from, I won't name what it was before, but an existing technology platform, and move it over to Snowflake. It nearly doubled their margins, and they got acquired within 6 months of becoming a Snowflake customer after demonstrating that they, in fact, had improved their margins at a really healthy valuation. When we think about customer outcomes, that's probably as good as it gets. It aligns to the company's most strategic initiatives. And so one of the practices that we've implemented at Snowflake is this notion of value engineering, to be able to uncover with a customer in a collaborative discussion, what results are they trying to achieve or do they think they can get from an ROI standpoint, and or with an existing customer actually going through and saying, hey, when you look at what your alternative was, or when you look at what you were using before, how does that compare from a cost standpoint, from a revenue standpoint, from a risk standpoint, from a differentiation standpoint, and how do we measure that? And it's really just creating a framework and guiding customers through it. They own all the data, they own all the inputs, but it's just getting them to think in ways that they may not have been thinking before. And then the output of all of that actually translates to, now you have wonderful artifacts that you can go in and have confidence when you go lead a customer conversation with a prospective customer saying, hey, customers get these outcomes with Snowflake. Let's dive into what that means for you. So now you're having a business conversation as opposed to a technical conversation.